Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Temple Road of Shalom. A word or two of introduction. I see many new faces, and so I want you to feel comfortable here in our congregation, in our community. I'm Amy Schwartzman. I'm one of the rabbis of Temple Road of Shalom. And joining me in leading our service, our senior cantor, Michael Shockett. And we are so absolutely thrilled to have with us our colleague, the retired rabbi from Bat Yam, Ocean City, Rabbi Susan Warshaw. So pleased that she's leading our service today. As many of you know, Ilene and Alan are members of Bat Yam, and they have a very, very special connection to that congregation. So we're just so pleased you're here. Thank you. Allow me to begin actually with some words of thanks. Thanks to everyone for being here. Feels so good that this sanctuary is full. All of you surrounding this family, and even in a small way through your presence here, filling the enormous hole that has been created with the death of Ilene Silverstein. Silverman. There it says it, and I just apologize for.
She's going to remember that one.
Yes, she'll get me on that, I'm sure. Apologies. Indeed, for Ilene, we are gathered, to honor and pay tribute to her, to mourn this woman who, in her own words, and I'm quoting what other people have shared, that Ilene herself said, that she loved life and she loved her life. How this vibrant woman who grabbed every fun and meaningful morsel of life offered, a beloved wife and mother and sister and grandmother, how this person, Ilene, will be missed. I didn't have the privilege of knowing Ilene as surely most of you here today knew her, although she was here in our congregation many times for our services, for a bat mitzvah, to play mahjong. And yesterday, Cantor Shockett and Rabbi Warshaw and I were gifted some really joyous and inspiring insights that we hadn't, any of us, known before about Ilene's life. We met with the family, with her husband Alan and children, Mark and Stephanie, along with their spouses Emily and Jason, and her wonderful sisters and their spouses as well, Renee and Sherry and Jeff and Harold. And we listened to the really beautiful outpouring of love that this family has for Ilene. That love gushed forth so easily in the form of laughter and stories, in the form of sarcastic comments and meaningful tributes. We heard about her early life with her two sisters, about how she met you, Alan, about your 49 years of wonderful marriage together and everything that brought you all happiness. First, there was family that she loved so much. And then there was the beach that she loved so much. And then there was family that she loved so much. And then there was Broadway that she loved. And then there was family that she loved so much. And then there was restaurants. There was glamour, bling, and fashion, and family that she loved so much. And of course, the most important members of that family, not only the people sitting in the front row, but even more so, the 4 wonderful grandchildren. My heart hurts the most for all of you, for Andrew and Kate and Annie and Adrian, all of you who brought her utter jubilation and made her life feel utterly complete. Perhaps some of Ilene's passions for life and commitment to living it well, came from the fact that she almost lost her life when she was ill and needed a new kidney. In a moment that captured profound generosity, that modeled the way any individual can impact and even save another individual's life, Ilene received the gift of a new kidney, and with that gift, an extra 8 wonderful years of life, which she shared with this amazing family who are so dedicated to her. How she used those years well. Not a minute was wasted. Not a minute was out of her control. She masterminded a life of meaning and a life that reflected what was most important to her. There are so many examples of this, and we're going to hear them as we hear members of the family, her 2 children, speak, and as even we hear readings that reflect these very values. But one example that really captured it all for me, perhaps the best one, relates to her later career as a substitute teacher. Ilene had been a teacher for many years, and more recently, even during COVID, even as a transplant patient herself, she decided that she wanted to substitute teach in schools, keep herself connected to those teaching moments. So, with a brilliant idea that merged her commitment to teaching and serving with her love of family, she came up with a plan to substitute teach in the very schools where her grandchildren were students. This, I learned, was so very much Ilene. She had a plan, and she made it happen, for the good of others, but also for the joy and benefit of herself, her family, and a reflection of the things she held dear. There is no question that today the extended Silverman family and wide circle of people who love them grieve for so much that might have been, for more of those clever schemes thought up by Ilene, for more time in Ocean City by the beach and more time in Florida with friends, for more gatherings with this wonderful family, for more dinners in great restaurants, for more mahjong games, for more birthday parties and bat mitzvahs, for more graduations, anything and everything that brought Ilene meaning and happiness, anything and everything that this family treasured as they watched Ilene running the show and rejoicing in the moment. In this hour of sadness, when we come together as a community united by our love and respect for Ilene Beth Silverman, we pray for the comfort that we need to move forward and to honor her memory by our own actions. We pray for the strength we need to console one another. Help us to raise these wonderful members of Ilene's family from the depths of sorrow with care, lovingly, slowly. At this difficult time, bless all of us, O God, with inner strength and peace, that we may make Ilene's life and memory a blessing. Sadly, we are not the first to face the raw pain of death, and thousands before us have suffered, and tragically many more will come after us. All have searched for comfort and consolation, as all of us in this sanctuary do. And many of us find such comfort in our tradition, the words of our tradition, but also the music of our tradition. And we turn to both of these now as we turn to our cantor, finding support in the Psalms, the knowledge that God is with us in life as in death, in joy as well as in sorrow.
Psalm 23 is a psalm that I'm going to sing for you now that I think Ilene would have really liked, because one of the takeaways that I heard from our meeting yesterday was how she was such a woman of faith. And she was really so very connected to the congregation she was a part of. And Psalm 23 says that God's shadow will protect you in the world to come. This is Psalm 23. Adonai roi lo exar bin od sheyar bitseini al mei menuchut yinaleini nafshi yeshoviv yancheini v'magle tzedek leman shemo gam ki elech begetz al mavet lo irara ki ata imadi shivtecha umishantecha hema yenahamuni ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged sorerai di shanta vashemen roshi kosi revaya ach tov vachesed yidifuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti beveit Adonai leorech yamim. With God as my shepherd, I rest in green pastures. God leads me beside still waters and restores my soul. Therefore, I shall not want. I walk in right paths for the sake of the divine name. And even when I walk in the valley of death's shadow, O God, I shall not fear, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You have prepared a table before me, even in the presence of my enemies. And you have anointed my head with oil. My cup is overflowing. Surely goodness and mercy will pursue me as long as I live, and I shall dwell in your house forever. And another one of our ancient texts from the book of Proverbs is the text called A Woman of Valor. Some of you may know this as this is the text that is said to a wife by a husband every Shabbat. And it seems to me that the words of this text spoke to me because her life was all about family, as you've heard, and her family just lifted her up so much. So this is an interpretation of that psalm. A good woman, so hard to find, she is more precious than materials we prize. Her circle cast with friendships deep, full of love and graceful ease, she is a woman of valor. She opens her hands to those who ache. She does not fear the other, extends her heart to those in need, encourages her friends to succeed. She is a woman of valor. Praise her, love her, hold her with your eyes. Be the safety that she needs to unlock all that she can be, and let her goodness rise. Credit is hers for the fruit of her labors. Optimism is her might. Surrenders to God, she does not despair, knows how to wrap you in her care. She is a woman of valor. Trust in her with your secret fears. Know that she'll hold you gently. When she speaks, wisdom's spread around. Her depth of compassion so profound. She is a woman of valor. Praise her, love her, hold her with your eyes. Be the safety that she needs to unlock all that she can be, and let her goodness rise.
Just as we ground ourselves at such a difficult time in tradition, so too do we look to more contemporary poetry, music, to help bring comfort and also to speak to the values of the person we're remembering. We turn now to some more contemporary texts, and it's my great honor, and I'm sure it would have been Eileen's great pride to have her 3 granddaughters come forward. I'd like to invite Annie and Adrian and Kate to come up. They have a reading that they've picked for this, this special tribute to their grandmother. Come on up, you guys. Do you want to come up? It brings a number of themes together. It's from words of the wonderful Broadway musical Wicked. So it speaks to the Broadway love, but the text also speaks to what was great and amazing about Eileen. You guys can just one at a time. Let's step up.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I am who I am today because I knew you.
Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better, but because I knew you, I've changed for the good.
It well may be that we will never meet you again in this lifetime, so let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart, and now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend.
Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood, who can say I've been changed for the better, but because I knew you?
Because I knew you.
I have been changed for good.
Thank you so much. Thank you both for that. Thank you, all 3 of you, for bringing us those beautiful words, and they do indeed capture not only the person that Eileen was, changing us for the good, changing us for the good. Too bad we didn't have the whole cast of Wicked here to sing that to us, but I also picked a reading that I'd like to share that seemed fitting. It's a contemporary poem by Rabbi Chaim Stern. When you know someone has limited time on earth, sometimes you hesitate. But this family went all in, and so did Eileen. She did not know what her path would be as a transplant patient. This poem speaks to those like this family who choose to love even in the face of death. Chaim Stern writes, "It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, to hope, to dream, to be and to lose. A thing's for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was a gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death can touch." We continue with both remembrances and poetry as we turn to Rabbi Warshaw and invite her to share her reflections and her selection. Sometimes slides, okay. Yeah, thank you.
I had the privilege of being the rabbi at Temple Bat Yam in Ocean City, Maryland, when Ilene reached out to us and said she was in need of a kidney. One of our congregants, Rachel White, came forward and said she would like to donate a kidney. This was not only an incredible gift, but also was the beginning of a special friendship and connection between two elegant, kind, and generous women. Rachel gave her kidney with a full heart. She said, "God gave me 2 kidneys so that I could give one away." Ilene was able to accept this gift of 8 more years of life with grace and dignity. Ilene used those years to the fullest. She loved and was so proud, as we've heard before, of her family. She traveled, made new friends, celebrated her Judaism, enjoyed eating out at restaurants, and had many new adventures. And of course, she was able to have 8 more years with the love of her life, Alan. Ilene taught us so many things. She taught us not only how to give, but also how to receive. She taught us courage, belief in the possible, kindness, compassion, generosity. Ilene used her gift of life to bring wholeness and love to all those whose lives she touched. A reading by Rabbi Zoe Klein. We say shalom and not goodbye, for shalom is goodbye and hello and wholeness and peace, all threaded together in one breath. And in one breath we too say goodbye to a hand to hold, a kiss and a tight embrace. And in the same breath of shalom, we say hello to an ocean of memories and a rush of emotion, gratitude and sorrow, tears and laughter and trembling and fatigue, all in one breath. Shalom, dear Ilene. We will miss you very much.
I'm told that Ilene loved the music of Temple Bat Yam, and so one of her favorite songs was Shalom Rav by Cantor Jeff Klepper and Rabbi Daniel Freelander. It's one of the favorites of Jewish modern repertoire right now. So if you know this, please join me. Shalom Rav o Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav o Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav o Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav o Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav o Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav o Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We now turn to the family to share their own remembrances, their own words of love, their own words of gratitude. It's a very special thing that both Eileen's children will come to speak about her and this moment. And so thank you to Stephanie and Mark for being our presenters, our speakers. And if you want to come up together or separately, we welcome you. Thank you. Yes, you don't need that. You can just put it there.
Okay.
All right.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here today. I would like to share a few cherished and funny memories of my mom. Stories that I truly think reflect just how special and unique she was. Before I dive in, I should mention that these remarks were not pre-approved by Eileen, and I'm sure she's somewhere rolling her eyes, thinking that what I'm about to say is incorrect, silly, flat out wrong. So with that caveat, let's go. My mom was a vivacious and strong-willed woman. When you think of Eileen and Alan, you can't help but picture an iconic duo. They were a pair who could charm anyone, always making people laugh, and there was never a dull moment with them. Sarcasm is our family's love language. Eileen and Alan made friends wherever they went, whether it was from Springbrook High School, a random trip where they met a couple and decided that they would be now traveling together, places like the baby pool at Indian Springs, Woodley Gardens, or Horizon Hill. She connected with people everywhere. Friends of my grandparents, people I went to nursery school with, her personal trainer from 2007, coworkers from her time as a paraeducator in Montgomery County, and many, many people from places like the Flying Cloud, Aruba, and Florida. The concept of being seated with strangers on cruise ships, that was invented for people like my parents. My mom loved sending personal handwritten cards. Even when she was in the hospital last week, she had me ask the nurse for whiteout when she made a mistake writing an address. In case you were wondering, nurses' stations do not carry whiteout. My mom and I were very different in some ways. She loved the dramatic, while I leaned toward a more low-key approach. In her honor today, I'm hopefully wearing an acceptable amount of jewelry, enough that I feel like I might be robbed, but hopefully enough for her. Probably not, but still, I'm sure she would look at my outfit and say, "Oh, is that what you're wearing?" Her effervescence made her unforgettable, and her strength of will made her unstoppable. When she needed a new kidney, she went out and found one on her own. The chance encounter of finding a living kidney donor from her small Eastern Shore temple was truly Besheret. My mom's donor, Rachel, is here today, and I know my mom is absolutely quelling over that. When my mom fell right before a bus trip home from New York City, she hopped back on the bus in incredible pain, but managed to take the bus home. The next day, in pain, she drove to substitute teach in Arlington, Virginia, just so she could be near my kids. Later that day, she attended Annie's chorus concert, and on the way home, she decided to stop by the emergency room. It turned out she had multiple broken ribs. That was just another day in the life of my mom. Whenever I would be beside myself over one of her many falls or accidents that landed her in an ER, she'd say to me, "I told all the doctors how mean you were to me." Despite her constant battles with health, she never stopped. She was always doing something, always active. Here are just a few of the things my mom absolutely loved. My mom loved reading the newspaper. If she missed a day, she would catch up. She didn't just read the Post. She also read the USA Today, the Jewish Week, even the TV Guide, which still exists. She would cut out articles. She always told me the latest person who died, even if I had no idea who they were. I'm never going to know when anyone dies anymore. My mom loved to travel. Nothing could stop her. During the early days of the pandemic, while most people were staying home, buying sanitizer, she and my dad took a trip to Cuba because, in her words, COVID wasn't there yet. From South Africa to China, Alaska to Israel, she traveled the world without hesitation, dragging my dad along for the ride. My mom loved the movies. She told me she went there to relax. I just found a full list of movies she had planned on seeing. My mom also loved all the soap operas on ABC. Most days I returned home to have General Hospital blaring in the kitchen. During a recent hospital stay, when it seemed like we waited forever to be discharged, they finally signed off and told us that she could be discharged around 2 p.m. She said, "No, could you make it 3?" Then me and my dad had to leave so she could focus. So we just wandered around the cafeteria while my mom watched General Hospital. My mom was the quintessential Jewish mother and grandmother. When I excitedly shared the class list when Annie was about to start kindergarten, her only question was, "Is anyone in our class Jewish?" When Adrian was in preschool here at Rodef Shalom, far from Germantown, as you all will see, my mom drove all the way here with homemade latkes for the Hanukkah party. I'm pretty sure no 4-year-old could tell that they were homemade, but the rest of us were very impressed. My mom loved her friends in Ocean City in Florida. So many people here are part of my core childhood and adult memories at the Flying Cloud. And her friends from Florida rushed in to help her empty her entire villa when she rushed home to get treatment here. That meant so much to her, and she mentioned it constantly. So if you're listening in Florida, she loves you all. My mom was a Broadway enthusiast with 3 binders full of playbills. I'll never forget seeing Cats front row, petrified, as the performers crawled through the audience. I cried hysterically. My mom insisted we go again, and she said it was going to be okay because we were going to sit in the 3rd row. I'm pretty sure I still cried. She will be happy to know that me and my family are going to use her Broadway tickets later this month, and I do not think that I will ever not think of my mom when I see a show. My mom cared deeply about how she looked. 20 years ago in the hospital with a serious illness, she had me and Emily roll and set her hair in the ICU. Just days ago, she was probably the only one that showed up to the ER with a diamond Rolex that my dad almost lost, but he didn't. And when we traveled to Israel in 2009 for my cousin's bat mitzvah, and my mom also decided to have her own bat mitzvah, an amazing accomplishment, just as we're getting ready to head up to Masada, one of the most historic and iconic sacred places in the world. Right before this important milestone, my mom turns to me and goes, "Should I wear my bangs down or to the side?" And lastly, everyone knows she loved mahjong. The clink of mahjong tiles is a soundtrack of my childhood. She even got my dad to take mahjong lessons despite his complete lack of interest. Who here thinks Alan wants to play mahjong? But he did it because that's what he did. He did everything for her. Finally, I want to share what was at the heart of it all, my mom's most important love, her family, her children, her grandchildren, and of course, my dad. If you've never heard my mom call out, "Alan," from across the house or over the phone, you know just how unique their bond was. Please call my dad and ask him to run errands for you. The Giant has pre-printed return slips for him. The CVS clerks hug him. The McDonald's drive-thru knows his order. If you have a dog to be watched, my dad's your person. You can call his phone as many times as you want, even if your name is potential spam. Mom, I love you so much. You always look great. Your outfit is amazing, and your hair is perfect.
That's a hard act to follow. So 25 and 24 years ago when my grandparents passed, my mother insisted that I speak to eulogize them. I declined. And now as I find myself facing the unimaginable, I dare not miss this last opportunity to be the dutiful son and abide by her wishes. A few nights ago, we rewatched the video narrative of the miracle that was a living kidney donation my mother received from Rachel White. At the video's close, my mother asked, "How do you ever truly thank someone for giving you the gift of life?" As I say goodbye to my mother today, I find myself struggling with that same question. My mother and I had a complicated relationship, probably because she and I are so much alike. That being said, as I sat down to write this eulogy, I found myself distracted by the memories I shared with my mother enjoying Broadway and musical theater. Whether it be Kathy Rigby in Peter Pan, Tommy Tune in Bye Bye Birdie, or Lin-Manuel Miranda in Hamilton, she made sure we never missed a milestone performance. As my distraction deepened, it occurred to me that so much of my mother's 75 exceptional years can be viewed through the same lens as a Broadway show. Like a well-crafted show, my mother's life was a journey with a cast of characters, a plot with twists and turns, and moments of both joy and struggle, all culminating in the grand finale. Here's a deeper dive into that analogy. The cast. Just as a Broadway musical features a diverse cast of actors, my mother's life was populated by a variety of people: family, friends, colleagues, strangers, each playing a unique role in her story. The plot. My mother's life, like a musical storyline, was filled with unexpected events, challenges, and triumphs. From 50 years with my father to 4 very special grandchildren, to being blessed by the receipt of receiving a living kidney donation. The music. The music of life can be found in the experiences, emotions, and relationships that shape us. Never was this more evident than when she met the late cantor Cheryl Tolston at Temple Beth Yam. She would tell me how beautiful her voice was and how well she narrated her feelings through song. Choreography. Life's choreography involves navigating different situations, making choices, and adapting to change. Like a well-rehearsed dance, we learn to move with grace and purpose, even when the steps are difficult. My mother was always a fighter. She always had her eye on the goal and was determined to get where she wanted to be despite the path it took her. The set pieces of life are the places we live, the things we own, and the memories we create. My mother loved being a Washingtonian. She loved Ocean City. She loved Boynton. She loved traveling. More than anything else, she loved the memories she created there and the people she met. The costumes of life are the roles we play: wife, parent, sister, teacher. My mother not only ensured that my sister and I experienced everything life had to offer, but she did the same for friends and strangers alike. And you got to the grand finale. Just as a Broadway musical culminates in a final, memorable performance, my mother's life has always reached its grand finale. And how perfect it was. With moments of lucidity, she spent her final 24 hours surrounded by her family: my dad, Stephanie, her sisters, her brother-in-laws, her nieces. We spent 24 hours bedside as we reconnected over a lifetime of memory. She may not have been communicative, but she was enjoying that moment. This brings me back to my original question. How do you ever truly thank someone for giving you the gift of life? I'll do it the way I learned from my mother. I'll take care of my father, I'll support my sister, and I'll be a good husband, and I'll ensure my children take advantage of every opportunity presented to them. I'll never take a moment with my friends for granted and make new friends out of strangers, no matter the awkwardness. I'm pretty good with awkwardness. I learned that from her. No opportunity to have family and friends together will be missed, and most importantly, I'll be sure to pass every life lesson she instilled in me to the next generation. In closing, you heard the story from Stephanie about cats, and I think there was a little bit of vertical movement of Stephanie when the cats got close that she left out. But while a memorable experience for sure, I'm more drawn to a line sung by the character in that show, Grisabella. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. You've touched us all, Mom. I love you.
Beautiful, Mark and Stephanie. Wow, what beautiful memories, remembrances that you shared with us. One of the things you told me when I asked you yesterday about a song that I could sing, you said "My Way," which was not normally in my wheelhouse, but because everything was her way. And so here's my version of My Way. And now the end is near, And so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way, oh no, not me, I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way.
Yes, people can clap for you. Your encore career on the stage. I'm glad we ended that main section of our service with something that is so true and so uplifting, and something happy, celebrating a life. Thank you so much to Cantor Shacket for putting that in your repertoire. We'll be doing that on maybe Yom Kippur?
Sure.
Maybe, okay. Before we conclude here in the sanctuary with returning to tradition and El Mole Rachamim, allow me to pause our service to share some information to help you continue with the day and beyond. Immediately after our service, we will go to King David Cemetery, which is only a few miles from here. If you picked up a program, there are written directions in the back of the program. We will not go in processional to the cemetery. Please make your way there on your own, either using your GPS or the directions that are there. It's not an easy route to go in processional, so we will meet you there. Also, at the end of our service in the sanctuary, the cantor will be calling the pallbearers. After our time at King David, the family will gather back at Eileen and Alan's home in Gaithersburg, in Germantown, Maryland, for mourner's meal, and also for Shiva tonight and tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, just tonight. This is not my day and the details. Also, as it is in keeping with Jewish tradition, if you would like to make a donation in memory of Ilene, donations are being directed to Temple Bat Yam in Ocean City and also to the National Kidney Foundation. What did I forget?
I think that's it.
Turning to you.
Oh God, you give us loved ones and make them the strength of our life, the light of our eyes. They depart and leave us bereft on a lonely way. But you, O God, are the living fountain from which our healing flows. To you the stricken look for comfort and the sorrow-laden for consolation. O God, we see life as through windows that open on eternity. We see that love endures and the soul endures, as you, O God, endure forever. We see that the years are more than grass that withers, more than flowers that fade. They weave a timeless pattern in a world that is the dwelling place of your love and glory. As we rise for El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Maromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanafei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim U'Tehorim, Kezohar HaRaki'ah, Mazhirim, Et Nishmat, Yocheved, Bat Lebel V'Chana, Shechalcha Le'olama, Baal harachamim, yastirecha b'seiter knafav leolamim, v'yitzror b'yitzror hachayim et nishmata, Adonai hu nachalata, v'tanuach b'shalom al mishkava, v'nomar Amen. God of abundant mercy and compassion, God Most High, may the soul of our loved one, Ilene Beth Silverman, who has gone into eternity, find the gift of perfect peace in your embrace with the holy and pure, whose radiance shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold her close to you forever, so that her soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May she find a home with you, and may she rest in peace, as together we say, Amen. Please remain standing, and if the pallbearers can come forward.
Azor